Hey, it's John Sheets from Gates of Saba Lodge. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to tie my red quill spinner. I'm going to start off with an 1180 Daiichi size 14 hook, which is the perfect size for, say, Hendrickson's, and then you go down to a 16 for the light Henny and an 18 if you want to go that far. But generally speaking, for brown bugs and Henny spinners and sulfur spinners, the size 14 or 16 work. I'm going to be using some Vivas A-Dot in orange. So let's get that on the hook. Tie it in just behind the eye. And then going back, hold your thread tag end up. Don't cut it off. Leave it on there. And tie that all the way back to the bend of the hook. Right there. This is kind of a really specific to tie the right number of wraps. Don't throw any extra wraps on this fly. Everything's kind of metered out. I'm going to use a couple microfibbits here. I used to tie it with moose body, but moose body does break. So I'm going to make a couple wraps right here to get the microfibbits in there. I'm going to split them apart, and we're going to use the tag end of that thread to pull it up between them and split the tails. Once I have that up to right about, you can see where the thread hanging down is now right by the hook point. Stop right there. The next thing you're going to tie in is a stripped quill of a brown rooster neck or Chinese strung saddle. I use the Chinese strung saddle on some of my flies, and the ones that are webby or whatever, I'll just strip down and use for quills. So that's the tip of the feather right there, and that's the butt of the feather, and it's just a quill. So I'm going to come in on my side of the hook. I usually tuck this under with just the tip of that poking out. Put one wrap, get it in there, and then wrap it back slightly below your tails on your side of the hook. Take it right back to the tails, and then wrap forward back to the point of the hook again. Take your excess off the front and trim it off. Now move the thread up to just behind the eye. Take a bundle of Antron or poly, not a full thing of poly, not even necessarily a full thing of Antron. This is our post for our wing. We're going to take this up, cut the butt, and bring this up and tie it in right there behind the eye. I'm going to sort of just drag it back a little bit, lash it down here, all the way back to where you cut your materials on the back end. Straighten this up a little bit. I'm going to trim off if anything I have left here. Now we're going to wind the body. So we're going to take that quill that we tied in. And by the way, have this quill soaking in warm water while you're waiting to tie it in. That makes it more limber. Make one wrap behind the tails. Make the other wrap right in front of that back wrap. Now you've got the tails locked in and split. Make each wrap after that one right behind the other. Take your time on this and get a nice segmentation. Fish really key on that segmented body in these spinner falls. The bundle of wing, when I tied it in, is going to create that kind of ever-widening body as it goes forward Here you want to look, see if you can get one more wrap behind the wing. Yep, just one more. And then make the next wrap right in front. And I say wing, what I really mean is wing post. Take your thread the rest of the way up to the eye. Continue to wrap this forward. And once again, you get that nice segmented body. Just take it up there, leave some room for a head. Make one wrap on top there. Another wrap to secure. One more. Trim that off. So we've got our tails, our body, and our wing post. Next thing I'm going to use is a light done saddle hackle. And I have it stripped off so that I have a fair amount of stem left. I'm going to tie it onto the top of the hook here, right on the empty part of the eye here, with 3 wraps. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, I have some excess stem here. By the time I'm done tying this on, it actually won't be tied down. But anyhow, I'm going to bring it up here, and I'm going to look, and I'm going to find the point where it intersects best for me to wrap this hackle. I'm going to wrap it one after the other, underneath itself. It's a little bit of a, you're going to need to use multiple fingers, bringing it around and around. Each time I go, I'm slipping that hackle a little bit further out of its spot here. Then I'm going to reach in here with my scissors, just trim that off, and then I'm going to unwrap it here and get rid of some of that. Unwrap it here. Now the hackle is basically just being wrapped around itself. Bring it down, and as you can see, I'm closing the gap down to the hook. Don't make any extra wraps here. You want to stop right here. You'll tilt it towards you, get a look at it, and get a nice split right there. I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to brush that back a little bit. I'm going to pinch it, switch hands and grab that here, and I'm going to pull this forward. And there goes my thread. What a neat time to have that happen. I'm going to let this go and get my thread back on here. Once again, pull that down. Let's make sure we didn't mess anything up. Looks pretty good. Then make one wrap over the top. Make sure it's very tight when you pull this. You want this pulled as tight as possible. And what I like to do here, just as an added security, is to fold this back on itself, and then you can kind of lock it in there. Make sure I don't have any of the hackles trapped in my poly Antron post material, and trim that off. Double primping. Pull the hackle out here. And trim that off. And then grab the whip finisher and give it a nice About 4 whips is all you need, really. If I can locate it. Take that little space right in front of where I did that lockdown and build your head up right there. I use the orange on this fly because they kind of have there's a little orange shine underneath that, all that red and rust. Anyhow, once you get that tied, trim it off. As you can see from the underside, it's a nice segmented body. From the top, you got those split tails. Nice, light, simple fly. Very effective during spinner falls and the end of May. There you go. Thanks very much.